Hello, this is our mini lecture on measurements. We're going to start by talking about liquid measurements, and then we'll move on to using the ruler. With liquid measurements, the two types of glassware you're going to see in the chemistry lab are the beakers and the graduated cylinders. So these are beakers. These are graduated cylinders. Beakers are relatively inexpensive. The reason being is hopefully you can notice here there are large increments in between our measurements here. Beakers are not meant to be specific. They're not meant to have specific measurements. So if you were to pour 100 milliliters in a beaker, chances are it's not actually 100 milliliters. It's more of an estimate. Because of that, beakers are relatively inexpensive. A 250 ml beaker is probably a couple dollars. Graduated cylinders, on the other hand, are accurate measurements. They have been measured out and stamped specifically with the measurements so that they're accurate. Their measurements are also usually in smaller increments, so you can have more precise measurements. Because of this, graduated cylinders are usually much more expensive. A 50 milliliter graduated cylinder is roughly around $60 to $80. So we never use beakers to accurately measure liquids. We use beakers for when we need a rough estimate of how much we're going to need. When we read liquid measurements, it's important that you look at it from eye level. And the reason being is because, for a reason that we'll discuss later on, there is a dip that occurs with liquids. It creeps up the sides of the container more than it does in the center. And so because of that, it's not even all the way across. And so when we read liquids, we read from the bottom of the meniscus. So the bottom of that dip, of that bubble. Because of this, it's very important that you get to be eye level with your liquid. So you will be bending down or crouching down in the lab to get accurate measurements. Something else that we're going to talk about is your friends in honors are going to be talking about something called significant figures. We're not going to do sig figs. We're going to do something a little different, a little bit easier. And what that is when we measure, we can accurately measure to what the increments, to what the dashes are on the tool. So, for example, this goes by ones. We start here with 60, and we have 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. But a lot of times, the actual measurement doesn't fall dead smack on the center of that measurement. And so because of that, we're going to get a bit more specific. So on this, you can see it actually falls, a little bit below the line. Actually, it looks a little bit off kilter here. So this one, they did a pretty good job of getting it almost dead on, but so what we're going to do is, because we have the accurate measurements to the ones place, we know that we can accurately say that this is 66. It doesn't fall and doesn't quite touch exactly 67. So what we're going to do is, we see that it falls between 66 and 67. I can accurately measure to the ones place. I'm going to estimate where it falls between those two marks. And so since it comes very close to the 67, I'm going to say that it's 66.8 milliliters. Do not forget units. Units are imperative. If I walked into a room and said 66.8, you'd have no idea what I'm talking about. Chances are you'd probably all panic and think that I was talking about the average on your test score or on an assignment. So it's important that you always put labels with your numbers. Never leave your numbers without labels. No naked numbers. And so, like I said, 66 is what can accurately be measured. The 0.8 is what we refer to as the digit of estimation. DOE. So our DOE, our digit of estimation, is one digit past what can be accurately measured. We can accurately measure to the ones place, so one digit past that is to the tenths place. You will be reporting all measurements to the digit of estimation. With this, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you some examples. Between my examples, when I tell you to, you should pause the video, attempt to find the answer yourself, so then that way you can check yourself to see if you're close to my answer or if you need to ask for help. Go ahead and pause the video for this one now. Assuming that you paused and have unpaused, let's go ahead and look at this one. So there's about where my line is. Now keep in mind with the digit of estimation, we're probably not going to have the exact same thing every time. The digit of estimation, there's a little bit of wiggle room because it's an estimation. That's exactly what we're doing, is estimating. So here, the increments between 50 and 100 go by the tens place. So my most accurate, or my digit of accuracy, which is that can accurately be measured, is going to be the tens place. I can tell that this is accurately somewhere in the 80s. I don't know where in the 80s, but it's somewhere in the 80s. Because I have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. It looks like it's closer to the 90 than to the 80, so I'm going to say that it's 87 milliliters. Don't forget your units. On this one, I'm not going to report to the tenths place because the digit that can be accurately measured is the tens place, and the digit, one digit past what can accurately be measured, is the ones place. So this is my digit of estimation. I would leave it as 87. Go ahead and pause the video and attempt this one. On this one, it goes by ones. When they have the thicker marks in between, that's the halfway point. So I know that that thicker mark that I'm just below is 45. So that means that I can accurately measure to 44. It falls somewhere between the 44. Again, to me, it looks like it's a little bit closer to that 45, so I'm going to say it's 44.6. Don't forget your units. Now, if you have 44.5, 44.7, that's okay. There's a little bit of wiggle room. If you tell me that it's 44.1, I'm going to say no, because it's definitely not that much closer to the 44 than it is to the 45. The last one we'll look at for the liquids is going to be this one. Go ahead and pause the video and attempt your answer now. So on this one, we go by tenths. I notice that I can accurately measure to 3.6, but it falls between the 0.6 and the 0.7. To me, it looks pretty even, maybe slightly more to the 7. So you might say that it's 3.66 milliliters. This is my digit of estimation, one digit past what can accurately be measured. When we talk about using rulers, we're going to do the same exact thing as we just did with our graduated cylinders. So if you understood the graduated cylinders, then rulers won't be much more difficult. We're again going to draw our line, we're going to see where it lines up, and we're going to estimate. In this case, it doesn't quite fall to the 16, so it's going to be 15 and it's really close to that 16, so I'm going to say 15.9. This time we're measuring in centimeters. So my digit of estimation is the 0.9. Go ahead and attempt these two. Pause the video and attempt these two. So for these, I'm going to know that I'm going to go with the left side of my line, not the direct line. When I look at this, I notice that my top one falls somewhere between the 12 and the 13. I'm going to say it's about 12.5. If you have 12.6 or 12.4, that's perfectly fine. This is my digit of estimation. On this next one, because we go by tenths in between the centimeters, it's a little bit harder to see exactly where it falls at, especially when I'm drawing it. My lines are a little bit thick. So when I look at this, and of course it helps if I actually get my line close to the mark here. Whoa. Doesn't like me. There we go. So it looks like it falls just short of that 12.5. So I know for sure that it's 12. I'm going to say it's 12.49. If you say it's 12.5 exact, that's fine. Make sure you have it, though, as the 12.50. So if you think it is exactly on, if you think it is exactly on that line, you would still report it as 12.50. You still need that 0 because the hundredths place is our digit of estimation. This tells me that I can accurately measure to the tenths place. So that 0 needs to be what's called a placeholder. It needs to show us that 12.5 is definitive, that is definitely what we have. It's the 0 that we're estimating about. One last thing that we need to go over is I've been using the words accurate and precise. So what's the difference between accuracy and precision? If I have a target, it's a good thing this thing auto does circles for me because I do not do circles well, if you haven't noticed. Okay, that's good enough. So if we have a target, and on this target, if I have an archery target, so I'm shooting some arrows, and so there's a few different things that can happen. I could hit the center multiple times, very close together. I could hit the center, but have the points not be close together. Or I could hit close together, but not be anywhere close to the center. So those are my examples. So close together, not near the center. In the center, so in the target, but not close together. And close together and in the center. So accuracy is going to be when we are close to the expected value. So in this case, accuracy is going to be the center target. We hit the target. We hit exactly where we were aiming for. In terms of data, that means the actual result. What is supposed to be achieved. So accuracy is how close to the accepted value. In this case, the accepted value is the center of the target. So you'll notice that both my red dots and my blue dots are accurate. So red and blue dots. They both hit the accepted value. They both hit in the center of the target. However, this brings us to precision. Precision is how close to one another the data points are. And so in this example, my red dots are precise. My blue dots are not precise. Even though both are accurate, the blue dots are not close to each other. They're spread out. However, the green dots that were not accurate because they're way at the edge of the target are precise because they are close together. So in this case, my precise ones are my red and my green. So in my target example, my greens are precise but not accurate. My red is accurate and precise, and my blues are accurate but not precise. Make sure you've taken notes on this. If you need to watch the video again or rewind, please do so. We will be going over these concepts tomorrow, and you will need to have an understanding or be prepared to ask questions for your understanding. Have a good night.